Hello, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to stream. Welcome. So we're gonna get right into it because there's stuff that I gotta do today. There's a lot of stuff that I gotta do. Welcome, Benish Spore. Lurkin fella. There is stuff that I have to do today at like 5, so this stream is going to be like an hour to an hour and a half long. Just want to make sure everyone knows, short stream, short stream. In fact, I'll even change the title to part 1. There we go. Okay. So. Oh. Okay. I zoned out. So we are going to be watching this. Is it loading right? Well, almost right. Okay. So we're gonna be watching this tour of HMS Belfast first. We're just diving right in. Boats. Can I increase the resolution? Yeah, okay. I was about to say. I've not been to most of the museums that I have lined up for these streams. I have definitely not been to HMS Belfast. Not been to that country. Don't know if I will. But this is a cool museum ship. Not many cruisers left. Very few cruisers, especially in a semi close to original configuration. There's like what? 4 total cruisers? 5 cruisers, I think. And they're spread out amongst several countries. There's Little Rock in the US, there's Belfast in the UK, there's the protected cruiser Aurora in Russia, and there's also, I believe, Mikhail Kutuzov? One of the Kutuzov ships, I think, in Russia. And that's about it for cruisers, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm missing any. So these are like the various shops and stuff on the like upper levels is what they're showing right now. Or just crew would do stuff. These are just like spaces that are important for general operations on the ship to work at all. Like, you know, barber shop, the doctor, where you buy goods, where you eat. Usually it's on like a higher deck. Mail rooms, just general like utility stuff tends to be on these floors or on these levels, decks. It's a nightmare room. Why is there not like a light on all the way in the corner? That's terrifying. Looks like burned out too. Chapel. I don't actually know much about the internal layout of this, God, what class is Belfast? The town class? I think? HMS Belfast. There's so many like duplicate classes of these ships. Yeah, town class, okay, I'm not an idiot. I don't know much about their internal layout, actually. I have not watched like any of these videos before. I've only been to one of the museums that I have lined up. And only one ship of the type of the ships that I have lined up for today. Here we go, kitchen, obviously. The bacon slicer. This is the worst thing about museum ships. If I was in charge of a museum ship, I would just throw these all into the dumpster immediately. And it's these terrifying dummies that like look like people like doing stuff like sailors on the ship. This is like a nightmare thing. I would not want to be like... Hey there, love. I don't want to be around that. It's scary, dude. My V-Roid might freak out in a second because I'm going to smudge my finger over this camera a little bit to see if I can get it to capture me sitting upright. There we go. Kind of. Dental surgery. They got like this. What?
Next.
That's horrifying. That's actually like terrible. Why would you put that in your museum? Oh my god. That will actually give kids like straight up nightmares. It's got like scary lighting and everything. Don't do that. Don't put that in your museum. You can get the idea without the dummies being there. Like these ones are too real. A lot of the time they're like really bad looking. On the New Jersey they're like ugly. They look stupid. They don't look real, which is so creepy. But these ones look like, some of these guys look like actual humans from a distance. Way too lifelike. Like that. We need to see some guy getting cut open with like breathing sounds. This was not necessary. This surgery was not necessary at all. You can see out the declined side of the ship. You can see that the outer wall has an angle to it, so the ship gets wider as it goes up. This is there's a couple reasons that the ship has this. It's partly a weight-saving measure, because that means your ship will have less weight lower down if you're wider at the top. That's the main point of having it. It also helps with defeating incoming shells. Because the higher the angle that they hit at, the thicker the armor would be. So if the ship itself has a higher angle than a right angle, it'll take a bigger shell to go through. There's the store. I can't tell you much about the canteen service. I don't know what that is. It appears, if we go back just a couple seconds, nutty. If you go back just a couple seconds, we'll see a hatch in the floor. I wouldn't know where that goes to. That's interesting. A huge doorway. Huge watertight doorway that is missing the door. I don't know where the door is there, but there should be a door. You have all those handles to make it watertight. Not a dry ship by any means, with the crew being able to consume 32,000 liters of rum during the Korean War alone. It's we never had that in the U.S. Not since like 1890, I think. We banned alcohol on our ships really early, entirely, and then never brought it back, except for like really sneaky cases, or I think maybe officers sometimes. We got lots of shops on these upper decks. Not like literal stores. Always. Where they're making they're tidying up flags and things like that. This is kind of an obvious area. So this is again the places where crew is berthed because it's a big open space. 56,000 liters of rum. Lose war. So true. God, I hate these guys. These guys are too real. I don't like that. They've like spent way too much money on these dummies to make their hair look real and everything. But what we just passed, I believe, is a Barbette for the turret. Let me go back a little bit. Around there. If you see something inside of like a floor of the ship that is this shape, as in a circle, it is 90% of the time going to be the Barbette of the turret, or the hoist housing, or whatever. Because it's not always a Barbette. Where Barbette was that? Where the gun raises from? So a Barbette is a structure. Usually made of armor or structural steel if you don't have armor there for some reason. Usually you would have armor. That carries do guns raise? They do raise, but that is independent of the barbette. The barbette holds the turret stalk or the hoists, and the hoist if it has a turret stalk, and just protects the stuff inside from incoming shells or shrapnel in other rooms of the ship. Let's say like a bomb went off right outside, like where my mouse is. Theoretically, I don't know how thick this is in this spot actually, but it should be able to stop metal shards from entering and like killing crewmen and stuff inside of the turret, so the ship can keep fighting. The guns do raise. The barbette plays a role in that because the barbette, like how deep it is in the floor, determines how high the guns can go. And I believe the guns on this ship can go up to like 60 degrees. I can actually check right now if you want the exact elevation these guns on this ship go to. They're the 6-inch BL Mark like 23. 22. Oh my god, I was right. What the hell? I guess which exact gun it was, precisely. Which is weird because Britain had like a bajillion 6-inch guns, so that's kind of like good luck for me. The model on the town class is the XXII turret, which has a max elevation of 45 degrees. Though some of them, oh no, they all have 45 degrees. Okay. Punishment Cell has like this nightmare space that you can't see into. So, from my understanding, the town class cruisers of Britain were intended for. They had a lot of weight saving measures, and you can. And a big weight saving measure is combining crew spaces with spaces that have actual uses. I'm not entirely sure what this space is right here that we're entering. It looks like there's some kind of machinery, but you can see that there's like hammocks above like some kind of table or something. This is a way to save space, is you just put a bunch of stuff like where stuff would be used during the daytime, and then crew sleep above it at night. It's a big way to save on space. Which the town class was trying its best to do. Britain really wanted to, during the various naval treaties, like the Washington Naval Treaty and the London Naval Treaties, they were the biggest proponents of that. It was like all their idea. And they wanted to make all the ships of other countries as small as possible because they were poverty mode. And so I believe they wanted to put a limit of 8,500 tons on new cruiser construction. And so they built these ships to that, and they had to fit a lot in there to make it work. They had to really squeeze things in. It appears now we're entering a turret. You were curious about that. You can see that the guns are elevated. They might be elevated to 45 degrees, actually. I don't feel like they are, though. It doesn't look quite like 45 to me. It looks like 30, in this case. But you can see that they are, one of the center gun is inset a little bit. It's kind of weird looking. There's a video that's telling you how it works. Cordite, the funny explosive propellant. So that thing that we saw below deck with the circle carries the ammunition up, basically. It's the room where this ammunition goes up. I assume that you can hear this good on the video, but the subtitles are right there. Crew don't have to be inside this during a battle? Oh no, they do. They have to load this during a battle. It is not auto-loaded. It is semi-automatically, ammunition is raised automatically after being put in manually by men below deck for the hoist. and then carried up and then loaded by men into the turrets. Crewless turrets weren't around until like the 50s or 60s. And that's crewless, kind of. It's not like totally like empty spaces like it is on today's like 5-inch mounts on like the Arleigh Burkes. I don't think anyone's in there. I don't think there's like even a man involved with like the process of loading at all, except if like there's a jam or some kind of malfunction of that sort. There's a 40mm Bofors on the top left, which the British started getting to replace their pom-poms eventually. Pom-pom was okay, but the Bofors is just a all-around better gun. It performed a lot better range. Pom-pom had a shorter barrel, so there wasn't really much that it would do to have a high velocity, which you really need to get planes as they go faster. But ultimately the Bofors replaced it. Not every ship got Bofors by the end of the war, but I think a lot of them did after. High chair for navigation. Baby boy needs big chair. See out the front. Boy, is it bright in London. You can see all 3 guns are elevated. They're painted differently because the ship has a camo scheme. Oh, maybe this isn't Bofors. This might be something else. I might be dumb. Oh no, it is. This is just like a weird British enclosed mounting. Okay. Yeah, 1950s. Got it. Yep. That is a weird mounting. I'm not familiar with that mounting. But it's like almost like a turret. Usually it's just like a thing mounted to the ground. This is like elevated a bit and fully enclosed around, and it rotates with the entire enclosed thing. In the US, it's just a gun tub, and then it has like a shield on the front of the mount, which is entirely within the tub. So that is kind of bizarre. Navigating space. I think this is a level higher than the previous space. I don't know if we'll go up to the window or not. I don't know if you can. Oh no, you can. Okay. So we are a level higher up now, because the navigator needs to be able to see higher up. Here's the radar is on. Experience changed, and the British really liked having open bridges, like throughout both world wars, because it's easier to see, but it sucks for the crew, kind of, high key. Officers, because they're the big boys, get to have actual rooms in the ship. Now, how much space they have depends. That's not very much space, but on some ships they have more. But that is like way better. The private sink, yeah, it's still kind of ass, but it's like, would you rather have just a hammock above machinery that's like keeping you up all night? You are supposed to walk down the ladder a certain way. This guy's like he's like me. He's a Giga Chat who walks down it forward. Because it says here face ladders. You're supposed to turn around and walk down it like a normal ladder, you know? But I also do this on other museum ships where I just walk down it forward, not facing the ladder, like I would any other stairs. This guy's base as hell. He's just like me, for real. I've been to a couple of museums. Tap the sign as you walk down. You should. Not every ship has the sign. I have bumped my head a couple times. I bumped my head on the light ship Chesapeake in Baltimore once. But that's not built to like military standards. That's built to like kind of civilian standards. So it kind of makes it had a really short like gap that you have to duck down for, and I thought it would be like a military ship, and I hit my head in it. It's on wood though, not on steel. That was all right. So this takes you to the shell room. Is this a ladder? Like a ladder? No, it's a stair ladder. Again, he walked down it downwards. So this is the shell room. This is where they stored the shells. And this is what's inside of that circle from before, but this is a level below. It's a tighter circle a level up because there's no guys in there. This is the Coke bottling plant. But you can see that they have all this ammunition stored here, and this is only like part of it, I believe. This is another shell room. They have a lot of shells in here. It's not just the ones around the turret. Those are just for quick access to put into the hoist, which are these tubes here, if I do believe correctly. You don't want to breathe that shit in. That's why they have like little bird masks on. You just ever want to flood the room, you can play with that. I had this stream idea like just the other day. I did not plan this too hard at all, but then finding the videos for it. This is really nice. I actually really like this stream. This is a good React Andy stream. This is objectively a great React Andy stream. So you can see the hoists. I believe there's 2 hoists for the 3 guns, which does slow down the rate of fire somewhat. But it's hard to fit in a 3rd hoist a lot of the time. Here's a bathroom. So this is from the 50s. This is not how it was in World War II. So you can see there's a ton of sinks that have hot and cold water. And separate faucets though, I don't like that. Separate faucets sucks. In the first time you've seen a boat tour, first time you got knowledge on narration. Like carrier tours, I didn't actually find one that I liked in like the 20 minutes that I spent looking for tour videos. I didn't really find a good one for carriers. I mostly like went to go to look at like other more specific ships. I won't reveal what ships they are. Depending on how long the second stream is tomorrow, it'll be around the same time that we go live. I will try to include a carrier, depending on time. So here is a boiler. This is a boiler compartment. Huge, full of stuff. Sucks to put this together. Sucks to maintain it. Yeah, carriers are just kind of like big spaces. Yeah. They're very big and spacey. And they have a lot of room for actual... Carriers are interesting from I'm going to pause this and talk about this. Carriers are interesting from a museum standpoint because they have a lot of floor space that you can use to turn into exhibits. Because no carrier museum is going to have a hangar that is full of stuff because of how big the hangar is. Usually they'll put stuff on deck because that looks cooler in pictures than having a ton of stuff in the hangar. And it's also hard to get like 50 airplanes to fill your hangar with as a museum. In many cases, there aren't even like 50 of those airplanes in existence that you would want to fill your hangar with. So you can use it to make cool like exhibit space, which is what's done on the USS in what is it? How am I forgetting the name of the ship? USS Intrepid Museum in New York City. The Intrepid has museum like normal exhibit spaces inside of the hangar, which is really neat. It's a cool little thing to have. You can't really fit onto most of these ships. Like you're not seeing any like exhibit space. This is all like these are what the things on the ship is. There isn't an actual exhibit on board this HMS Belfast in like the traditional museum sense. the Iowa class battleships do have exhibit spaces. I think they're tearing out part of Iowa, and they're actually turning it into like an art museum or something insane. I don't know why they're doing that. That's a very weird thing to do, but they are. New Jersey turned a crew compartment, I believe, into like a space where it compares the ship to other battleships, and like they have they have like models and stuff, which is pretty neat. New Jersey has a walkthrough tour on its YouTube channel, I believe, by the museum that is narrated. I tried to go through things that aren't narrated though, so I can talk myself. So what happens in a lot of ships, it depends on the exact ship and like who made it. But most ships have they don't get power from the boilers. The boilers in the engine room, they don't make the actual power for the ship. At least for like World War II. I think now they do. Because they're diesel electric and shit. But in World War II era ships, they would reroute steam from the boiler to a separate generator, a little mini turbine that would make power for the ship. And then sometimes they would have backup like diesel generators. This looks like an engine room, I think. This looks like a turbine to me. Look at that cramped space. Look at that. You got to duck over things. Look how this is like this is like a foot wide. Teeny tiny. Cramped cruiser compartments, dude. Evaporator, so that's a distillation plant, so this crew can get water on board the ship. You can bring water with you, but you're gonna run out if you're on a long enough cruise. Working here without a helmet and elbow pads, that would suck, especially because there wouldn't be all these guardrails here. High and low pressure turbines. Cruising turbine. Yeah, it would be very hot and sweaty in here. I don't know if they replaced the asbestos on this ship. On most museum ships, they tore out basically all of the asbestos at some point or another. Some ships still find asbestos. I think Texas has found asbestos during a lot of the work that they've been doing on there in recent years. I would like to collab with a museum at some point, but I don't know the format of like what the stream would be. But if I did, that would be awesome, because that would be like such a fun thing to do. It would be very unique. So we are exiting the steam compartments, and it looks like a shop is ahead here. There's like a drill press or something. Yep, machine workshop. You gotta be able to make stuff to make the parts for your own components in the ship, your machinery. Otherwise, you're gonna be SOL if you're out at sea and something breaks. You gotta be able to make it yourself. I've been pinged. That is a very British looking old man. He's giving room to use the machine so they're not losing fingers. That's true. That's like the one place in the ship that they haven't had to be like somewhat cramped for what it is. This is like a tiny little cruiser. Battleships get to be a lot more open in these spaces because, you know, they're larger and they don't have to worry about as much stuff taking a ton of space above deck. Royal Marine Butchers. So the Marines specifically would be butchers in the UK? That's very weird. That's kind of strange. I don't think Marines were anything potato store. I don't think Marines were I don't think Marines, the old beef scream. I don't know what that means. On the US ships, I think the Marines were just there to, like, for a defense complement. I don't think they were there to like man a gun mount or something. I don't think they were designated butchers. I think that was just some other guy. Kitchen space. Pretty roomy, pretty roomy. You know, kitchens are kind of a weird thing in the context of like a ship. Like, what happens if a kitchen gets hit? Like, how bad is that? I know there's like other spaces. Post-war mess deck. So post-war they added bunks in. So the ship kind of has representation from both periods of its life, World War II and post-war. Bunks were more of a standard post-war. Hammocks were like a kind of a wartime thing. Thank you for visiting. Kitchen. Yeah, they were making British quote-unquote food, but nonetheless. A lot of museum ships have these like shades up that the ships historically put on sometimes if they were like visiting places. You know, keep it nice and cool, at least part of the ship. Galley. So is this the end of the video? Yes, it is. I'm gonna have to get my second video ready. Toilets? You can't even go in there. There's like a huge thing in the way. Here's the aft deck. Is the guy speaking French? Who are the French people on this boat? You can see here it has a dropped quarterdeck and it has a rear turret that is elevated above the deck. That's a weight-saving measure. It's kind of structurally poopy, but that's British practice. That's all you know about ship terms? Don't worry about it, you're good. So we have to get our second video. How long are these? We're gonna go with this one. This one seems cool. This one seems real cool. So next up is the this is another small ship. This is the what? Music. Oh goodness gracious. This is the USS Edson, which is a Charles F. Adams class destroyer with an all-gun loadout. Some of them got missiles. Some of them did not. Hopefully they're just playing Clear and Water Revival on board the ship and not like in the video. This is a post-war destroyer. It looks very similar to the World War II destroyers. You'll note that it has the 5-inch 54 gun instead of the 5-inch 38 that you see on World War II destroyers, which was auto-loading. Oh, it's a Forrest Sherman, excuse me. So this is... this ship was launched in 1958, commissioned in 1958 as well. This ship was 13 years after World War II. That's when it was finished. A lot of US museum ships are not afforded the level of care that Belfast is, being like a big tourist attraction. Because the US has a lot of museum ships, and it's also very big, it has a lot of tourist attractions in its space. While the UK also does, it's much more condensed, so it's more available to go to a bunch and provide a bunch with funding as a consumer. Here you can see a stalk for one of the 5-inch mounts. This is an auto-loading system, so most of it is automatic. There's a lot of board sailors who can be told to keep them maintained. That's true, but that's just not what the government wants to spend money on, and it's not like these museums don't get money from the government. They do, in most cases. Most of these ships are on loan from the government. Gun mount carrier room, yep. You can see some different shell types there. a lot of the work on restoring comes down to volunteering and youth groups like people doing Eagle Scout projects a lot of the time, do a lot of painting on these ships. A lot of the time the painting is done by sometimes Mormon groups depending on where the ship is. Because the Mormons like have their own Boy Scouts thing that they made after they let girls join or whatever. The Boy Scouts. But the Mormons do a lot of this too. If you know someone who's trying to find an Eagle project, recommend them museum ships. They love it, and they need like they'll give you a huge list of things that they need. This is carpeted space. I don't know. Mormons painting warships. Is it a friend who needs a what project? If you know somebody who's like 17 in like the Boy Scouts and is almost an Eagle Scout and just hasn't found a project for it yet, in the U.S. or probably in the U.S. I don't think really there's much of a thing outside the U.S. Clue them in this is like a really cool thing to do to help preserve history. Is just do a project for one of these ships, Eagle project. That is a small deck hatch, but it can also open into a big deck hatch. Very interesting. So here's one of the 5-inch 54 Mark 42. 5-inch 54 Mark 42. Hey, 42 was right. I'm a legend. I'm a legend. Let's go back a couple seconds. So this is the aft end of the ship, which is more heavily armed than the front. But you can see beneath the gun barrel here, this is an automatic mounting. I believe, but I think it can be loaded manually if need be. Why did my phone go off? I don't... What's going on here? Oh, did I get a Twitter follower? I think I did. Okay. There is the ejection port for the casing. The casings will come out the bottom of the underneath the gun. Some ships it comes out above, depending on like what mounting it has. Some ships it comes out the back or the side. If I pull up the St. Louis class shell casings, the St. Oh, this isn't it. Is there a good picture of the nets to catch? Yes, there is. So, on the cruisers that have the 6-inch 47 Mark 16, you gotta download this into here. I just gotta get this. What the hell? That was loud as shit. I gotta download 2 pictures real quick so I can show these off. I wonder if that... I hope that lightning picked up on stream. Thunder, excuse me. Image. Saved pictures. So, on the World War II era, St. Louis class, Brooklyn class, whatever, light cruisers, they would oftentimes pile up on the deck these shell casings that were jumped out like the room in the turret. It sounded like a knock. I felt someone was coming in. No, that was just... It's not even raining right now. What the hell? But it could oftentimes just end up like accumulating on the deck. Sometimes it would start fires because they're hot, which is not good. Here's another picture where there's a measure that I don't know how whether or not it was meant as like a improvised solution or not, but here's a turret that has a little thing to hold them in, I think. That or it's life vests, one of the two. I think I saw a thing with like a net that holds them though on the back of a turret once. Alright, back to this. Let's see if I can find that. Doesn't look like I can.
Yes, you do. No!
Bro's trying to enter the computer servo circuits. Yeah, I'm not finding the one thing that I'm looking for, so I'm going to go back to focusing on the video. Yeah, this is all old computers. These are better than the World War II ones by a significant margin. Oh. Motor whaleboat. Just for getting on and off the ship. This isn't so much a lifeboat as it is just like for transportation in like certain waterways. Or if like you're docked in harbor and the captain needs to come ashore for something. That's what those are for. Or delegation, you know, you get the idea. A really cool painted thing right there. You can see the triple... Stop! Okay, those are the torpedo tubes on these ships. A lot of the 50s destroyers and other vessels would carry these torpedo tubes that they're, I believe they're 450 millimeter. They might be 533, but I'm pretty sure they're small. Oh no, they might be 324. That's what it is. They're tiny compared to World War II torpedoes, but they have, and with relatively short range, but they're meant for anti-submarine warfare. They have, I believe, an active sonar in them. If you've ever played Cold Waters, it's the same kind of torpedoes that you end up fighting against in that game. Hello, Mermaid Melody, welcome. We are currently exploring the USS Edson on this YouTube video. How they get from up there to in the water, they get launched out the side. Here's an example of the torpedo. This is not a 21-inch torpedo, this is a 324 millimeter. That's just a little bit over a foot wide. I believe it's like 13, almost 13 inches. It's like 12.6 or 12.8 or something inches in diameter. The mounting rotates and then it launches them into the water over the side of the ship. They don't explode on impact because their fuse has not been primed yet. Because I believe they have a contact fuse, but it's just not primed. Commanding officer's passageway. People who aren't the commanding officer do not go through here. It says officer's country above. How crazy to you? You thought they launched from below the waterline. In old battleships, they do, but not in destroyers. Old battleships had below deck torpedo tubes, or underwater tubes. No ship built after like 1920 has them, though. Actually, that's not entirely true. A couple of the interwar US heavy cruisers had them, but they were removed. You know anything about naval warfare? That's okay, that's what Sorrel channel is here for. This is like a viewing position? I'm not sure what this is. This is just like a, yeah, I think this is just a spot where you can like get a good view from the side of the ship. A lot of post-war ships are not built with like a treaty in mind for their stuff. Here's an M2 Browning. Don't touch it. Some ships let you touch them though, which is always cool. But they're not built with what have to be touched. Well, you get in trouble. You're not supposed to touch it. You should always follow museum's rules. They're there for a reason. Here's like just a spotter's chair, comfy chair. Oh, cool. It tells you the distance from the bow and stern. That's awesome. There's a horn. M2 is your gun foo. Well, there's plenty of them on board US museum ships. Here's a bridge. I'm not sure which bridge. There appears to be cleaning chemicals on the left, because people smudge stuff all the time with their thingies. The helm. Or not the helm, I don't actually know what that's called, the speed thing. Here's a charting table. New York Harbor. This ship is not in New York, it's in Saginaw Valley, which I don't think is New York. Michigan. I think these ships are really cool. Oh, I was saying, there's an identification guide. I think they deactivate the M2s on the museum ships. They have to legally. I'm pretty sure part of the conditions of a mountain getting transferred is that, or like a ship being transferred from the military to civilian purposes, that all the weapons on board are deactivated. A museum could always buy an active M2 and put it there, but they might get in trouble for that. So I think they only have deactivated guns. Usually none of the large guns are functional whatsoever. I think that the Iowa class, the Navy is holding on to the stuff that, like, they took out the parts that let the guns turn for the Iowa class. Not that, like, it's conceivable that they could ever load and then get a proper charge to fire something out the barrel for them, but, you know. If you want to learn a lot about, like, a specific big titty Iowa when, we could do that on the second stream. That is, like, a potential, because there's a lot of video tours of those ships. The New Jersey YouTube channel is excellent if you want to learn about like a ton about New Jersey in particular. I keep like getting distracted from the thing I was going to say earlier. These ships from post-war weren't designed so much with like weight restrictions in mind or size, but more with cost and what the internal volume, because you can only fit so much stuff inside the hull of the ship of a particular shape. I don't know whose stateroom this is, but they are living like a king. I have a couple of these books. Actually. I have a copy of Flyboys right here. That's about like World War II pilots. This is a much better. This might be the captain's room. I'm not sure. I have Last Stand of the Tin Can Sailors. A lot of these books are way newer than when the ship was decommissioned. Ship of Ghosts is there as well. Great book. Tin Can Sailors and Ship of Ghosts are excellent books. The Ship of Ghosts is less about boats and more about like Japanese prisoner of war camps after a point. I don't know if I have any of these other books here. I can't really tell. Though I'd imagine they're pretty good books in general. That might be a Blue Jackets manual right there. Give your World War II era boat books, preferably Memoirs, after stream. Rex, I can give them now. I don't need to give them after stream. I have my shelf right next to me. If you want memoirs, memoirs are kind of weird a lot of the time. Here, I'll do this. Ooh, this works really well. Memoirs tend to be kind of strange. Like there's a book called Japanese Destroyer Captain, and a lot of it is full of like made up stuff and propaganda by like, you know, Japanese sailors. The sailor who wrote it. But it is interesting from the perspective of the guy, because he is pretty influential in the history of Japanese strategy during the war. But Japanese Destroyer Captain's pretty good, and it's cheap. Amazon, Japanese Destroyer Captain. I was trying to pay attention to what's happening in the video too. He's just kind of going through wardrooms, it seems. Here's another bed. Almost looks like a tanning bed that would close on you. Yeah, Japanese Destroyer Captain is, why is it only on Kindle? What? Kindle store. No, I don't want to see Kindle store. I want to see paper. It's a $20 book right now on Amazon. It's by Captain Tameichi Hara. You would pirate the book? Well, you can go ahead and do that if that's what you want to do. I can't really say that you should or not. Libraries don't have many of these, because these are like really niche books. I don't think most libraries have them. You might find it there, but other books I'd recommend are anything by Norman Friedman. Like literally anything ever is really good. He's got some inaccuracies in places, but it's really good reference texts. These aren't memoirs. Another good book is, if you want a memoir, is I highly recommend this one. This one is an excellent book. You can get it in hardcover used for $2 on Amazon right now. I would highly recommend you purchase this book. Save image. These are various electronic spaces. Here's a typewriter. It's missing a key. If hardcover that cheap, I'd get it. Definitely do. I don't know how good the condition's gonna be for $1. Used acceptable. It says $4 delivery, so basically you're gonna get it for $5. Used acceptable, used very good. You can get both with free delivery for $5, and they come on August something on Amazon. I'm gonna put a picture of this book on screen. Love this book. It's about the Japanese carrier Shinano, and it's also by like the guy who sank the ship with a submarine. So that's pretty cool. That's a really cool book. Not too long, pretty short. Oh, here's the copyrighted music. Vietnam stuff. Another book by one Roskill is ooh, that is not cheap. Okay. I don't know where you'd find it, but it's HMS Warspite by one Stephen Roskill, who was a commanding officer aboard the ship. Which talks about like the entire history of the ship and his time on it. I bought a copy of it on the New Jersey when it had the bookstore was on board the ship for a while because they were renovating the building they have next to the ship. And it still smells like the ship today. So if I ever want to like get some boat smell in my nose, I just go over to my bookshelf right next to my desk. I'm not even like, I just stood up to reach this. I don't have to even move. I'm just gonna bend, lean a little bit. And I have my copy of this book. I should see how much you can get this. They keep you for a while. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna recommend you one more, which is Kaigon by Kaigon book by who's this by? David C. Evans and Mark R. Piatti. It is a book about the Japanese naval strategy. It is not a memoir, but it is good. Yeah, boat smells so good. I love boat smell. It's so nice having it. Like, I bought this book years ago, and it's been in my room for years, and it still smells like this. It makes me so happy. I'm so happy I have this book. It's one of my personal treasures. Is this book that smells like boats? I'm so happy I have it. I love it. And I have other books that smell like it too, but this is my favorite one. Put it in a Ziploc. It's gonna smell like this for you. Its smell might just be burned into here, dude. If it smells like boat after... I bought this like 4 years ago. Probably more than that.
Emery, come here now.
I'm here now.
I don't need you to get him.
Mom yelling at her kid. So true. This carpet is so weird. It should be tile. It should be tile, I tell you. They got Clark bar. The ship was it was stricken in like 1990. Though it's got a lot of stuff from like the 80s in it still. You can see that this ship, as they approach the bow, it is an inclined slope. It'd be good to live on a boat, I think. Yeah, it would be pretty fun. I lived on a boat for a little bit. Not like that kind of boat, but like on a normal boat. I went on like a little trip where I slept on a catamaran. That was really nice. Got to drive it a little bit too. So with the live POV camera, this is not my video. This is by The Great Outdoors on YouTube. It's not really outdoors for much of this though. It's pretty much indoors. Here it is. This is the bow of the ship. And welcome, Daishima. What year? When is this published? This is a 1997 Naval Institute copy of Roskill's HMS Warspite. Pretty new. I wonder how much this costs, because this is like these US Naval Institute books, they don't print very many of them because they're pretty niche historical books. So a lot of them go up in cover really hard, or in price really hard. ISBN. This is second edition. The first edition's 1957. Oh my god, this book goes for like $60 to $80. Oh my god, dude. $70 for hardcover? Sheesh! I got this book for $8. And it's in almost perfect shape aside from some kind of like booger that's smeared on the back. It's not my booger. Fantastic shape. But I love the boat smell. It's one of my favorite parts about going to the boats. Is that a boat I smell? Boat smell! Well, he's just walking along the outside. I've been paying a little bit less attention because I've been looking at books, but that's okay. You don't know if you're using the right terminology, but I thought about that immediately when you said boat smell. Your boy smell would be boat smell. It would. It would be that. When was the last time ships shot shells at each other? Ooh, that's a good question. That's not something that happens very often. I would assume the last time it happened would be a Sync-X. Tonkin? Maybe Tonkin. But I'm pretty sure it was a It was like a sink exercise where a ship sinks another ship by shooting at it with its like 5-inch gun on the bow. Like that is most likely the most recent time that's happened. Your terminology is correct, by the way. Tonkin is a good one, but there's stuff that's happened later. I don't think they've like fired shells at each other in anger very much. So it would probably just be a Syncax or Tonkin. Or depending on how there's a woman showering there. Depending on how well you define shells. I'm sure that like in Vietnam there were plenty of instances where a small boat was shot at by another boat using like a machine gun or something. I'm sure that happened plenty of times. Most ship engagements following Vietnam have been using missiles. Yeah, I guess shooting at pirates counts too then. That would count. Because usually sometimes they do use the big gun for that. Sometimes. I think. What? Here's the signal box. They keep all the signal flags in there. Excuse me. Yeah, if you want to get like good used boat books, go to the New Jersey gift shop, dude. This is a really nice book. I really like this book. I don't think it talks about when somebody stole a ham during Jutland, but I don't think that was even on Warspite. What's a signalman's pubs? Wait, what? I don't know, actually. What is it? I've never seen that word before. Pubs, ship. No. Pubs logbook. I don't know. Google doesn't give me what that is. Signalman's pubs. Let's try Signalman's. Google doesn't even know, dude. That or it's obfuscated by pubs. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that. I've never actually seen that. Here's a boiler. If you find it on Google, that'd be nuts, but I'm not finding it. Reduction, oh, it's a reduction gear, my bad. So, basically, I think it says it here, but if it doesn't, I'll explain. So, I don't totally get the way that this works, like, engineering-wise, but when a boiler makes the stuff spin, it spins too fast. And the shafts of a ship aren't meant to spin super fast. In fact, they work best when they're spinning slowly. So you make them spin slowly harder, I think, rather than make them spin slowly or make them spin faster. It's weird and I don't get it. This is like something that does not make sense in my head, but I just had to accept this how it is. There's also the distilling plant on this ship here, which is just past on the right. You don't need a huge distillation plant to distill for like 300 people, like you would in like you would if you were in like a city in like the, I don't know, the Red Sea. Turbine. Steam goes in here and makes it spin, which makes the shaft spin. Kids are screaming about something. That's short for publications, communication publications, I guess, for other countries. Ah, okay. I'm gonna click on this link. Thank you, thank you. You found the actual, found the documents for it, for the training. Thank you. That helps. That's awesome. Good job. Air storage flasks. Control F publications to find that. Oh, I'll do that actually. Let me pause this. Control F publications. 93 results. Special publications. Got it. Yep. Okay. Thank you. My phone lit up. Why is my phone backwards? Why did my phone light up? There are models of some ships here. Okay, so the ship on the left is a New York class battleship. That's what that model is. That is a huge model, by the way. That is a really big model. That is a New York class battleship, so that means it's either New York or Texas. I can't immediately tell, but I think it's New York. Oh, wait, it says Texas right there. I'm stupid. That's Texas. On the hat beneath it. Right next to it is a San Antonio class LPD. I think. San Antonio LPD. Oh no, it's not a San Antonio amphibious transport dock. It's the preceding type, I think. Yeah, it's an Austin class LPD. Amphibious transport dock. Austin class. Or Cleveland subtype. So that's what that other ship model is. I don't know if there's going to be a sign that you can get that says that, but that's what it is. So this appears to be like kind of an Exhibit B space. There's a ton more ship models. Oh my lord. They're all huge too. These aren't like the ones you get as normal model kits. These are fancy things. A lot of people make their models, like ship modelers, make their stuff by hand. I have never completed a model ship. I tried and then I sucked because I don't have patience and it's all really tiny. It's not like Gunpla at all. It's nothing like Gunpla, and you have to glue things? Ugh. Nightmare. And the way the glue works is by melting the plastic and then like sticking it together. And that's scary too, because you can like easily just like ruin stuff that way. Bunks. These are the exact same kind of bunks that you'll find on the Iowas as modernized. Okay, these are labeled. These are labeled, but That is. Oh my god, I can't even tell what that middle ship is. This might be what the ship is, actually. It might just be a Forrest Sherman class in the middle. Don't know what the bottom ship is. Oh, the bottom is a Spruance or Kid class. The bottom is a Spruance or Kid, I think. Or an Oliver Hazard Perry. I think it's Oliver Hazard Perry class. Frigate. I can't tell what the top is. And I don't think he's going. He doesn't even look. Come on, bro. You don't have any interest in model ships? The blinding light of the sun. What is that? A bunch of stuff they piled up. This guy needs to clean his camera. He's got something on the lens here. More model ships. Ooh, Florida or Delaware? Another Oliver Hazard Perry. That says FFG on it, I think. So I'm right there. Imagine the seaman smell. There's not much of that left. It's mostly just like old boat and mildew. It smells like under your sink. Is what like a ship smells like if you've never been on one before. A museum ship. I don't know what the middle thing is there. I can't tell. That is something strange, though. Don't recognize it. Another gunstock. You can see the shell being hoisted. High voltage. You're just staying away from that. He said, I already went in a room like this. A lot of these bunk spaces on some like destroyers and stuff are used to like just show off a lot of stuff because they're like shelves basically. You'll be losing points for not being able to recognize ship silhouettes. I don't think I've ever seen the one that I just saw before. I've been doing pretty good so far. But a lot of time it's like photos of things. This is a really nice section, I think. This is the kind of like the best you'll get to an exhibit space on a lot of these smaller ships. That's a destroyer there, right? Can you turn and face it, please? No? Oh, okay. Here's the machinery repair shop. Can't recognize it, just teasing? Oh, okay. It's alright, I'm alright. Just so you guys know, there's gonna be like one more ship that we watch after this one. And then I will end stream, and we'll come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST to do some more. And that one will be a little bit of a longer stream than this one. I just have to go to the store.
Oh, wow.
Wow! A drill press! Wow, circle saw!
Wood in here.
They got wood in here! Kids are fun and chaotic. Fortnite. Wow, the name of the ship. You didn't know the kid was saying something else. He was talking about he was he was talking about wood. He's talking about the machinery in the shop room. I've never seen somebody excited for that. That's like the most boring part of the tour. Okay, I had it in the middle. This is not a battleship. This is a destroyer. This part is accurate, though. I flipped through these to see if they talked or not. This is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been to this one. 1945 ships are exercise caution as you visit. Modern ships aren't that different in terms of like safety. There's less like things you can stick your finger in if the ship is like operating and have it sheared off. Rouge. Well, it says Rogue. It's not like the Bat. It's not Rouge the Bat. It's Rogue. Baton Rogue, okay? Baton Rogue. So this is the 5-inch 38 gun mount. This is different. This is an entirely crude mount that does not have a barbette. It has a hoist barbette thing. It's the Bat. I'm not looking that up. I'm not looking up anything involving boobs and road. So on the ship, I have an understanding of how depth charge systems work, but these are racks that hold depth charges that are just like kind of pushed off the side of the ship and then sink before they go off. And like some launchers. I think that's a launcher actually. That it shoots like a pressurized blast of air, and it shoots the depth charge that's rolled out of here and pushed onto here out. They have a ton of them. This is a raft for transferring stuff between ships, like a crewman who's injured to like a medical ship, or a ship with a actual like med bay that can do surgery. These are not 50 cal mountings that you're seeing. These are 20 millimeter or Urcleans? I can never say it right. Urcleon? There's another 5-inch gun mount. I believe Kid has 4 of them. Because some Fletchers had more, some had less. Changed post-war. It's also missing some guns, but there is the 20 mil twin mount. Usually they're seen as single mounts, but sometimes they're twin mounts. Got these big drum barrels, 20 millimeter gun. You've never seen these funky things? They're pretty cool. This is like a ammo locker, so they kept most of the ammunition and the spare drums right next to to each gun. This is a ton of ammo. You can see how big the shell was there in the bottom right for a second. A bunch of just rope and fire hoses, spare fire hoses. A little memorial plaque. This video quality sucks, so I'm sorry about that. I don't know why there's a whistle. Maybe it's been the change of an hour. There is a 40 millimeter Bofors mount. This is an unshielded American quad. It also has a radar dish on top for fire control. That's what that little dish is there. It's like the front of the Death Star.
Foam concentrate. I guess that's for the fires and stuff.
The thirsting is sad video. Oh, he muted the audio. It is a cramped little ship. The Fletcher class destroyers are huge for what they are. Cars and stuff. They're huge for what they are. They're very big ships. For like the stuff that's on them. But because we can afford to make them big. They're bigger than they need to be. But they're not perfect in space. Life magazine. The World War II era Life magazines are really cool. If you ever get a chance to like look at them on like an online archive or something, they are very neat. Wartime correspondence to civilians is really interesting. Like as a historical subject to look through. I don't have much to say on the topic other than that, but I would recommend looking at that. If you have like a library that might like have like a big archive book of them, check that out. There's a lot of like propaganda cartoons in them and stuff that are neat. But soldiers also received Life magazine and stuff overseas. There's also like the Army's magazine as well. I forget what its title is, but there's a magazine for the Army, which is similar to the Life magazine in a lot of ways. Because it talked about stuff at home, it talked about what's going on in the war. Through, obviously, the lens that they are able to say. Which is what makes it interesting. Because they don't... The military didn't reveal everything that was going on to its own men, obviously. Because it couldn't. For secrecy's sake. This is the galley. I think there's 2 on the ship.
I hope this isn't asbestos. Because that's what it looks like. Don't touch any of this pipe up here.
Asbestos.
It's asbestos.
This guy's funny. This guy's awesome. This guy's so cool.
See, see that pot moving? Did you touch it?
Oh yeah, I remember these pods. I remember seeing these pods when I went here. Yeah, they just kind of hang on the wall, and you can see them move the ship since they're hanging. Now, the thing that you'll notice here is that this is the first mess that is above that is on deck, above water, or not above water, above like the inside of the ship. It is not inside the ship; it is on deck. Unlike the earlier ones, because there is less space on this ship than any of the other two that we've looked at so far. Far less space available. I need to clean my monitor. I have a smart on here that looks gross. A bunch of little things. Ugh. That trash can is not. My audio is a little unsynced. Like half a second? I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what would be causing that.
Yeah, we'll go down there.
Unless you mean like what's in the video. There's a life raft there on the left. Someone just yelled at me for not noticing. That's weird. Weird. Tell them that's mean to yell at you. I don't know what's going on with that. I can't hear my audio. You talking versus model? Oh, that just might be how VC face, which is rendering this Vroid is. Like if I open the tube, like I'll see if it's actually synced up wrong by using my PNG. Like I'll turn on my PNG real quick. And like it syncs up pretty well, as you can see. But the Vroid is just a little bit slower. That's all. Thank you for noticing though. I really appreciate it when people tell me if there's like a technical thing going on so I can check if it's going wrong or not. I'm gonna start huffing my boat book for that delicious boat smell. Oh, heavenly. As I inhale like mold particles. There's a bunch of rifles. Doesn't look like the Garand, it looks like they were bolt action. So the M1903, I think. Maybe? I don't know my rifles too well. But bolt action American rifle. For the defense complement. Navigation stuff. Plotting room. Radar room. A meeting room. Oh, there's the garage. So I might have to go in a minute. We might have to continue this next stream.
Did you hear?
So I'm getting picked up.
You heard something? Where'd it come from? It come from upstairs.
His bolt action is probably
I don't know,
Springfield's.
I've heard
Got
this
it,
in,
yeah. It was probably Springfield's.
The stuff they got playing.
Bathroom, just skipping ahead a little bit. Damage control center? Maybe? I can't tell. I was only planning for the stream to be about 90 minutes, so this works out. Water fountain. Alright, so I'm going to put down... What is this? I'm going to put down the timestamp link for myself. And I think we'll find our raid target. So thank you for coming. This will continue tomorrow. We're going to look at the rest of this, and we're going to look at 1 to 3 other boat tour videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna find who we're rating now. There's a ton of museum ships, so there's a ton of streams I could do like this. If I can find good videos for them. Let me see who is on right now. Excuse me, that I can raid. I think I will raid. I think I will raid Yuki Akiko. Thank you for the burps. You're welcome, and for the Rex. Was had passing interest in naval. His naval stuff, never find it in though. That's what Sorrel is here for. When I actually like do something boat related instead of like playing video games and whatever. I have to try to do more. I have to come up with stuff. That's the hard thing. I have to come up with ideas, and it is hard to come up with ideas. Raid message go. I haven't even like started the raid yet. All right, here we go. I think I can. Let me mute desktop audio so I can actually hear his stream. So I'd like to be able to hear it. All right. So, raid message is. Boats are here. Or no, it's gonna be. Here's the raid message. This is much better. Got a 5-incher I can show you. I like that. I like that. Here's the raid message. That's a good raid message, I think. Methinks. All right. Have a good one. 07. I wonder if I can get a V-Roid 07 pose. I wonder how that works. But I'll send the raid over now. So have a good day, everybody. See you guys tomorrow with part 2 of Boat Stream. It's going to be awesome. Hope to see you all there again.